The village of Amman was quiet by day, but cursed by the night. At exactly midnight, the wind would stop. The crickets would fall silent. The elders warned everyone, once you hear her footsteps, do not look outside. But one night, a young man named Chica did. Chica had always believed the stories were just fear, old tales to keep children indoors. So when the tapping came to his window, he didn't hide like the others. He stood up. Slowly, he walked toward the window. Tap, tap, tap. It stopped. Silence swallowed the night. Then, a whisper. Chica. His blood ran cold. No one was outside, but the voice knew his name. He forced himself to look. At first he saw nothing but darkness. Then, something moved. A figure, tall and twisted, standing at the edge of the trees. Then she lifted her head. Two glowing eyes burned through the darkness, and she smiled. Not a human smile, but something wide, something hungry. Chica stumbled back, his breath gone. He tried to scream, but no sound came out. The next morning, the village woke to terrible news. Chica was missing. All that remained in his room were muddy footprints, leading inside, not out. From that night on, the warning changed. Do not just stay inside. Do not answer when she calls your name. Because the witch of Aman does not hunt the careless. She hunts the curious. And sometimes she learns new names. So if you hear footsteps outside your window tonight, and a voice whispers your name, just remember, she is already watching. Some lifeless animals like chicken and goats were also discovered. Then came the whispers. They say it is her, the woman who lives beyond the palm trees. No one mentioned her name, but at night, they said she walked without touching the ground. Mama Nadi's goat was found dead, its body stiff, like it had seen something terrifying before dying. No wounds, no sound was heard in the night. The village grew uneasy. Children were called inside early. Fires were kept burning till dawn. But still, it continued. The villagers knew it was the work of the one who feeds in the dark, a witch they believed lived in the hollow of the ancient Iroko tree. Their own protector, the goddess Allah, seemed silent. Perhaps the earth was tired. Desperate, the elders did the unthinkable. They decided to court a god from the great beyond, a jagged mountain range to the north where the shadows moved differently. Under a moon the color of a bruised plum, the chief priest and 4 title holders gathered at the village square. They didn't use the soft, white chalk of Allah. They used the charred remains of the dead goats, grinding the bones into a gray soot to draw a jagged, 6-pointed star. We do not ask for peace, the chief priest rasped, his voice cracking like dry wood. We ask for a predator to kill the predator. They poured a gallon of forbidden palm wine, fermented with the gall of a cobra, into the center of the star. The air suddenly grew cold, not the chill of the wind, but a cold that felt like a blade pressed against the back of the neck. The shadows didn't just lengthen, they detached from the trees. Out of the darkness stepped something that looked like a man made of rusted nails and jagged obsidian. This was Okiri. He didn't speak. He moved with the sound of grinding metal. The villagers pointed toward the Iroko tree where the witch's cackle usually echoed. Okiri nodded, a sound like a hinge snapping, and vanished into the brush. For an hour the village held its breath. Then came the screams. They weren't the screams of the witch. They were the screams of the forest itself. Trees groaned as if being shredded. The sky turned a sickly, metallic silver. Then the witch stumbled into the square, a pathetic, shriveled thing, her skin peeling like old parchment. She wasn't attacking. She was fleeing. You fools, she wailed, her fingers clawing at the dirt. I only took the marrow of your goats. He wants the marrow of your lineages. She lamented bitterly. She staggered backward, her bare feet sinking into the damp earth she once ruled. The forest had always protected her. The wind obeyed her. The animals bowed to her hunger. But tonight, wow, the forest was afraid. And it was no longer afraid for her. It was afraid of her. Do not drive me out, she wailed, her voice cracking like old wood splitting under pressure. This is my home. Before your fathers were born, I walked these paths. Her long, tangled hair writhed as though alive, twisting around her shoulders like serpents. Her eyes, once glowing with terrible power, flickered now like dying embers. The villagers did not respond. They stood beyond the flames, silhouettes of judgment, holding torches high. Their chants rose in unison. She fell to her knees. The ground trembled beneath her, but not in obedience. No, this time it trembled like something trying to escape her touch. I fed you, she screamed, clawing at the soil. I protected your crops. I kept the spirits away. I only took what was owed. Her breathing became shallow. A tear slid down her cracked face, cutting a clean line through the ash smeared on her skin. I did not choose this curse. The flames closed in. For the first time in her long, cursed life, she felt heat as pain, not power. No, she whimpered, scrambling backward. The forest cannot reject me. It cannot. But the trees creaked away from her, their branches pulling back like recoiling fingers. The spirits had abandoned her. Her voice changed. It deepened, broke, became something not entirely human. If I leave, she hissed, rising slowly, her spine bending at unnatural angles. This darkness, it will follow me. The villagers' chant faltered. You think burning this forest will end me? She laughed, a hollow, echoing sound that did not belong to the living. You have only opened the door. The fire surged higher. She screamed, long, piercing, filled with rage, sorrow, and something far worse, promise. Every child that cries at night, I will hear it. Every goat that bleats, I will taste it. Every shadow you fear, her voice shattered into 1,000 whispers, will be me. And then she was gone. No ashes, no bones, only silence. The fire died quickly after. Too quickly. The villagers stepped forward cautiously, their torches dimming, their courage fading with the flames. The forest stood still, too still. No insects, no wind, no life. From somewhere deep within the darkness, a faint whisper curled through the trees. After that, the village was peaceful once again.